Yeah, I tried to, you know, at first my brother was using the excuse that I was trying to be friendly with him even after he kicked me out and I was homeless again. He used the excuse that I was trying to use him or something. And even when I found, I got my own means to live, he still didn't want to talk to me. Said bad things to me, terrible things, things that weren't true. Didn't freak out on me like he did in '97, but he really talked down to me, talked like dirt to me. Still totally shocked. Still totally shocked by it. Shit. Still totally fucking shocked. So I gave up on him and I just left. But I always had in the back of my mind that he had private detectives following me. So now I'm worried. What is he trying to do with me? So I moved back to Flagstaff because I liked it there. I moved to Flagstaff. I thought it was beautiful. It's nice and cool every day. No outrageous heat. Nice cold, nice cozy winters with snow. I love stuff like that. Fucking snow makes you feel like you're in a fucking winter wonderland. I could chill out. And I hooked up with this psychiatrist out there because I had to keep my medication up. And this guy, psychiatrist, mental health profession was terrible. Didn't believe a word I said. I mean, and he was poking at my brain. It was so obvious. It was so obvious he was trying to get what he thought was the truth out of me. And I tried to explain to him in more of a metaphorical way what had happened to me because I still wasn't. I didn't want to open up the details as to what I thought happened to me. I didn't want to reveal myself. So I had to kind of skirt the issue, and he was looking for the real truth, what happened to me, and he was giving me medication. He would do stupid things like take my blood pressure before and after, like I didn't know he was giving me a fucking lie detector test, right? It was so obvious, you know. You know. I guess when you're fucking wandering around the country, I guess maybe people do take you for a fool. But it was obvious it was a lie detector test. That, he wanted to see if he could raise my blood pressure, to get the right trigger to raise my blood pressure to see, if he's hitting on something that I might be lying about, right? And it's just so obvious. I couldn't stand going to him anymore, you know. 'Cause he was just looking at me the whole time like I was full of shit. Just looking at me the whole time like I was full of shit. And it was a small town. Flagstaff's a small town, even though it's a university town. There's a lot of students around. The regulars, it's a very small town. So the regulars are talking about, why the fuck is this guy here? You know. And then I learned about the High Plains drifter effect. You show up out of nowhere in a small town, they don't want you in the small town secrets. High Plains drifter effect. In my own malaise, in my own hysteria, in my own still trying to find my own answers. I was still unaware of people around me. They have their own issues and their own secrets, and they're surprised by someone like me coming out of nowhere. I didn't realize until Arizona that I was having a High Plains drifter effect. Why did I leave Arizona? I know why I left Arizona. I don't want to say. It's not important. I left Flagstaff and I scouted out a new location to see if I can. And this time I went to the furthest corner of the earth I felt and didn't even think about it. Like I said, I was still trying to figure myself out. Even though I had money and resources to live, I was still in a quandary. I was still trying to figure me out and still trying to date every once in a while too. Try to get some sex, grab a boobie, do something, right? some type of female contact. You know, you have to understand when I'm doing this, my flesh is aging, but in my head, I'm still 25 years old. I might still be 25 now. I might be younger than 25 now. That's why I said I have a difficult time understanding all of this stuff. Really difficult time putting this all together because this is right out of a fucking nightmare. You couldn't possibly imagine. This whole experience is right out of a fucking nightmare from day one, the day my mama shat me out of her fucking womb. This whole fucking thing has been a fucking nightmare. I'm not saying there weren't good times. There were. Man, the totality of it is just such a major, epic fucking shit show that just seems like it never fucking ends without resolution. So I go to this other town, and, you know, they got a little witchy with me. The High Plains Drifter effect. Guy comes out of nowhere. And you start to realize that people are having an unconscious effect on you, even though they don't say direct things directly to you. And remember, I'm still thinking about me. I'm still just thinking about me. Washington State had just legalized marijuana. Now, I was never a big pot smoker. I was never a stoner. But I started getting blazed in Washington. Tried to, go to seek nurses up there. The nurses started fucking with me. Nurses are brutal. Bald-faced lie to you, they'll fuck with your head. Counselors will fuck with your head. Mental health profession's a disaster. It's a fucking disaster. There's not a damn thing these people can do for you but give you medication. Try to trust somebody to open yourself up. You don't know what they're going to do with that information. With the one girl, the one lady I was working with in Oregon, because I was crossing the state lines from Washington. I was living in Spokane. I was crossing the state lines to go see this lady in Oregon. It was only 20 miles or whatever. And I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to talk. And she had this sort of therapy she wanted to work on. I was like, no, we're not going to do any therapy. I'm just going to fucking talk every session. And I was paranoid as shit about it. And I called it extreme of conscious therapy. Just say whatever the fuck comes out of your mouth. Just say it. And I just started blurting shit out. Just talking about my life in general. Things that I didn't understand. And they were fucking with me. And I knew it the whole time, but I didn't care. I just had to keep going. I had to keep fucking talking because I had to get the fuck out of me. I had to get it out of me. I knew not to trust these people. They set me up in the fucking psychiatrist's office. They had a plant come in. Somebody to fuck with my head. And I started making other connections about things. And then my mind really started getting blown about what people really are. I was starting to feel like out of the frying pan. Well, I tell you, I don't know. It was so bad when I was a corrections officer. I don't know if I could call it out of the frying pan and into the fire. Maybe I can call it out of the frying pan and into another frying pan. But at the time, I was thinking it was all connected still. That the game was still on, so to speak. Like when I first had my nervous breakdown, Michael Douglas had that movie come out, The Game, right? God, would I love for that to be true right now. I'm thinking about that movie, how he went through those hardships and that. They ruined him, they destroyed him. And then he was going to do what, his supposedly his father had committed suicide, and he was going to commit suicide in the same way, and it was all just a game, right? I always wondered if that was, when you're paranoid schizophrenic, you start to think TV and the radio signals are talking to you, movies and TV are talking to you. You don't know what the fuck it means. You know, maybe it's just regular MK Ultra stuff for MK Ultras. Just regular, you know, that to one person maybe just entertainment, and they really are sending subliminal messages to people who they have fucked with. You know, you start getting. I've read some books on psychology too, Jungian archetypes, Gestalt therapy. The Gestalt therapy one was really good because at least it helped me understand that I had a fractured mind. And neurosis leads to schizophrenia. I thought the Gestalt therapy book was very good. It helped me to understand my own psychology a little bit, but it wasn't helping me resolve problems. I did all kinds of things to try to help myself. All types of counseling, all different types of things, yoga. Oh Christ, the things I did. Read books, fucking research shit on the internet. Did all kinds of things to try to help myself. It was ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I got priapism one time. My nurse prescribed me the trazodone. I went to the fucking hospital with an erection. My dick was hard as fucking diamonds. And I was begging him to suck the blood. I mean, unbelievable shit fucking happened to me. Fucking priapism. Who the fuck? I mean, who knew what the hell priapism was? Priapism. From medication I was taking. I had to go to the hospital and literally get the fucking blood sucked out of my dick. That was the only time it was weird. It was funny. There's still funny shit that happens in the midst of all these tragedies. You know, my dick is hard as a rock, and this fucking doctor put his ice cold hand on my dick, and let me tell you something, I was like, oh, it feels fucking fantastic. And the doctor was like, I was like, oh man, it feels great, Nice cold hand on my fucking dick. Priapism's weird, man. You cannot lose that erection. It just fucking sticks there, man. And what was making it worse is I was looking it up on the internet, this priapism. And they said if it's not treated, your dick like turns black and falls the fuck off. And I'm like, oh fuck, man. I gotta go to the fucking hospital. And I'm embarrassed as hell with this fucking erection. And I walked up to the nurse at the front and I said, look, I've been here before for mental health reasons. Because I did go to the mental hospital a couple more times around 2010. They didn't like me there either. More witchcraft. But anyway, I go to the hospital for this priapism. Fuck. And he put it, he waited a few hours, put ice on it, waited a few hours for it to go down. And he was trying to figure out why I had this priapism. I said, I don't know. I told him the medications I took, and the doctor must have went into the computer to try to figure out what medication might cause priapism, and he isolated it to trazodone. Because I couldn't remember some of the medications I was on, because, I don't know, I just took the shit. I didn't fucking remember the name some of the time. I had forgotten the name because I was so worried about my fucking dick, right? The doctor said, he walked into the room and he said, trazodone. And I said, yes, that's it, trazodone. He said, now we got it. He came in 2 hours later and sucked the blood out of my cock with a fucking stint or whatever. Sucked the fucking blood out. I was like, oh, thank fucking God. Priapism. Oh, fuck. I was furious about it too. It's like, I can't believe the nurse who prescribed it to me didn't tell me about that side effect. But then again, I should have researched my own drugs, right? I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was fucking going, man. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Still functioning on some level, but still working on solving a problem. So yeah, so now I'm doing the stream of conscious therapy with this woman in Oregon. I ended up ditching that whole deal. For a while with some of these places, I thought they were trying to initiate me in some sort of sex cult. If that makes any sense. You know, like they. There's other place I was in at Spokane. I think people were in my apartment without my permission. These were brand new apartments I were in. I think people were in my apartment without my permission. I don't know if it was a guy running the place. I had a cat on my fucking step one time. It was a cool cat. I couldn't keep it. You know, maybe he thought he was doing me a favor by setting me up with a cat. I don't want that fucking. I mean, it was cool. It was cool as a fuck thing. I mean, I found a laser pointer. I don't know why I kept it, but I found it. I was fucking around with the cat, and it was a cool fucking cat, man. It was a great cat, but you know, once that fucking piss starts happening on the rugs, you gotta go, buddy. I kicked that fucking thing right out in the street. I felt terrible about it too. Felt terrible. I said, you gotta go, buddy. You can't be pissing on my rugs. It's a brand new apartment. I don't need fucking pee stains all over the place. That's why I don't want a pet. Can't handle the fucking pee stains. Had enough of that when I was growing up. Various pets my mother owned, dogs and shit. Probably loved their dogs more than me. They always hated me. They always resented me for this reason or that. I could never fathom that a parent could be so resentful of a child, of their own child. Father hated me because I fucked his life up. Now my mother, I think now she's got a fucking thing for me, I think. Which I didn't even want to think about. I mean, who the fuck? And, you know, let's face it, my mom was hot. I mean, she was. When she was a young woman, my mom was fucking hot. But I never wanted to think about something like that, to think that my mother would have a sexual interest in me. But she did. Thank God she never acted on it. Or, thank God I never, I just blocked. I must have not picked up on that wave single. I must have blocked that out. I probably blocked out a lot of things to survive in my household. I probably blocked out a lot of shit that ended up coming bite me in the ass later on in life. Blocked out a lot of things I didn't want to see, just for survival. You know, I can't communicate on this wavelength, or it gets fucking nasty, man. So I had to ignore people. I had to ignore people just to get up and go to school. I can't be fucking worrying about what happened the night before with the yelling and the screaming. I gotta go to school. And now looking back, thinking your own mom wants to fuck you, right? It's fucking sick shit. God knows what my father wanted to do with me. God knows what he may have done with me when I was a young boy. Perhaps something I don't remember or something I suppressed. I'm not going to invent fake memories. But I'm almost seeing it happen now. There maybe was some sexual abuse going on and it wasn't just him. The neighbor may have been involved. I had a dream about this neighbor's son. He and I were close friends. We were little boys, 3, 4 years old. And the dream was we were both playing in the front yard. And it was pitch black in this little spot of row homes that I lived in Camden, New Jersey when I was a boy. I lived in Camden, I was about 5, and then I moved to Pensacola. It was pitch black. This is the dream, and I never forgot it. It was pitch black, and all there was the moon in the sky, and me and this kid were playing outside. We were about the same age. And we both looked up at the moon, and the moon morphed into the earth and split in half, and smoke and fire came out of it. It was a very apocalyptic, very scary thing I had as a young boy, a dream I had as a young boy. I never forgot it, never to this day. I lost contact with that family and that kid. We never grew up to be like friends later in life. We were just boyfriends, we were just friends when we were little boys. I never forgot that dream. That kid died in a car accident, and I had a major nervous breakdown right around the same time. The moon sacrificed to Moloch. Maybe I was unconsciously being told by this dream what my destiny was, that it was an apocalyptic dream, that we were both going to die tragically. He died in a car accident and I had a severe nervous breakdown. It's an old dream that I never forgot. I could still visualize it right now. It's amazing. Amazing what our subconscious, our unconscious tells us. You have to train yourself to pay attention to it. You can't just ignore it. You can't just, a lot of people do ignore it because they get up and it's another fucking day and you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to go to fucking work, man. You don't have time to sit around and think about this like I do. Time to analyze some fucking dream. So now that I'm on Social Security, now the curse is turning into a little bit of a blessing because I'm starting to understand myself a little bit better now. I'm starting to make connections, really weird fucking psychic connections with things, about how things get manifest through people. How I dated a girl once who was batshit out of her fucking mind, but she was beautiful. I mean, she was fucking nuts, but she was beautiful. She would tell me about stuff, and it was just a total turn off. I mean, she was totally whiffy, but she was a nice looking girl. I think her family's trying to shove me off on her. And she left a movie at my house that I never watched. It was a bootleg copy of the movie Fallen. I never even watched it because it just looked too terrifying to me, about demons jumping from one body to the next to get God chosen, so to speak. I never even paid it any mind. I never gave her the movie back. It was just a bootleg copy of something. So. It's a shame. She's a pretty girl. You know it's bad when somebody's more fucked up in the head than me, right? She's a pretty girl too. Really, really attractive girl. Sometimes I punish myself for that, having too much compassion for people. I mean, it was compassion that fucked me over, right? To go down. I thought I was being compassionate with my brother. Set me on a path straight to hell. Made me wish I'd have just minded my own fucking business. Made me wish I'd never listened to another soul in my life from day one. Just completely ignored people more than I did. Yeah, whatever, okay. But for some reason I believe the family stuff, believe the family, do this, do that for the family this, the family that. All the family was giving me was bullshit most of the time. I'd go get some Christmas presents every once in a while. I was never hurt for Christmas presents. I always got that. Some money, cash. But when it came to the real answers, or the real support, it wasn't there. It was devoid of it. I was on my own, and I should have realized I was on my own. I just didn't want to. I guess I felt something was owed to me. Taking all the pain that I'd taken, that somehow somebody owed me something. And that was my grandfather saying, I don't know you fucking shit, buddy. I don't like you, and I never did. When I was a boy, my father used to take, not my father, my grandfather used to take trips all around the world. He was, like I said, he worked for a Fortune 500 company. And when I was a boy, I remember getting a strange gift. Like I always got hand-me-downs from my grandfather. This or that, a bicycle, or, that maybe my uncle, who was only really 5 years older than me, my uncle. I got a hand-me-down bike from him one time. But I got a really strange gift from him when I was a kid that I didn't understand. And my father gave it to me and said, look, Grandpa gave me this to give to you. And it was a travel game TWA travel pack. You know, I guess when you sit in first class, they give you free little games or whatever. He gave me a TWA travel pack with a game in it. And I knew the game. I knew it was called Risk. It was a travel version of Risk. But I'm like 6 years old. How the fuck am I going to play Risk at 6 years old? And what's worse about it is, it's all little pieces. That's what the game is. It's all little pieces on a little board when you play a travel version of Risk. I put it in a drawer and forgot about it. You know what I almost think? You know how paranoid I am now? Thinking about that. Sometimes you think you remember something and you don't know why you remember it. Why would I remember something innocuous like that? Just be handed like a board game. Maybe that was a flashpoint in my brain telling me there's something dangerous about this. Why would anyone give a 5 or 6 year old kid a game with a bunch of little pieces in it to choke on? And nobody saw any problem with it. I wouldn't have given it to my 6 year old son. I'd say, look, my son's too young for a game like this. Look at all these little pieces. He could fucking choke on this game. He could choke on one of these pieces, you know. I mean, kids put shit in their mouths. That's what they do. And nobody in my family, not one person, questioned giving this game to me. And that's why I remember it, I think. Because it was up to my own instinct to understand that I didn't understand why I was getting this gift. And my grandfather left all kind of Easter. He was a brilliant man. Left all kind of Easter eggs that I had to analyze throughout my life. Like you know, we never had any tools. You know, I would be envious of other guys. You know, fathers that have tool sheds. You know, we never had any tools. I had an electric lawnmower, a screwdriver, and a wrench in my house. And my father was supposedly good with mechanical things. My grandfather was an engineer. We never had any tools around the house when I was a boy. I didn't know how to do shit mechanical. Nothing. This is amazing, you know. My father would surprise me about something he knew. He was just too lazy to do anything. You know, he'd run all kind of gas lines through the house one day and be like, where the hell did you learn how to run a gas line? Be right back. It's break time.